Now, the Duke and Duchess of Woke are unfortunately back on our shores as they continue their ego tour of Europe. The sycophantic Sussexes, who are on a relentless PR mission to promote Meghan's nauseating podcast, currently at Frogmore Cottage in Windsor before their next engagement in London tomorrow. Goody! Yesterday, though, they were in Dusseldorf, Germany, promoting the Invictus Games 2023 and were seen on a walkabout outside the Tyne Hall, chatting and taking simpering selfies with onlookers, something they would struggle to do in Britain, given they're generally greeted by booing crowds these days. And I'm sorry, but for two people who claim to despise the trappings and traditions of the monarchy, all of this screams royal tour, with locals waving Union Jack flags and Meghan even presented with a posy. Now, the bizarre self-promotion junket kicked off on Monday when Meghan gave a speech on gender equality at the Young One World Conference in Manchester. But in classic Meghan fashion, actually, she didn't talk about gender equality at all. But I'll tell you what she did talk about: herself.
How on earth did I get here? There I was the girl from Suits. Proof that I was there. And proof that I belonged. Because the truth was, I wasn't sure that I belonged. I was so nervous. And what can we do? What can I do to make it better?
My superstar panel back with me now: Dawn, Neesom, Adam Brooks and Ashley James. Dawn, I really feel like this tour has exposed the true narcissism of Meghan Markle. Do you agree?
You were waiting for this tour? You didn't notice it before? You've mentioned it a couple of times before, Dan.
Sorry, I can't resist, Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, what was that speech? 7 minutes. She infamously mentioned herself 54 times, and she was meant to be talking about gender equality. She was talking about Meghan, wasn't she? Look, you know, I don't really care about Meghan anymore. I really want to stop talking about her. What I do care about, and what I do think is incredibly sad, is that Harry is over here. He is literally 10 minutes walk away from his brother, and they haven't spoken or met. I find that incredibly sad. I mean, you know, I was lucky enough to interview Diana back in the day when the boys were, I think, 1 and 3. And Diana would say at the time she was so proud of her boys. She was so proud of how close William was, how protective he was of Harry. And I think now it's heartbreaking to see that relationship. Like, I know brothers don't get on, I get that. But I think to see that relationship break down...
I completely agree. I actually think she would be turning in her grave about the state of their relationship, because she always knew it was so important that they maintained a united front and that Harry was going to be there in order to protect William as he had to take on all of the responsibilities of one day becoming king. Adam Brooks, the issue to me is that the Queen tonight is ill. She is unable to even work. Harry and Meghan are making this all about themselves. I actually think if Harry had a shred of dignity, he would drop this event tomorrow, he would leave Frogmore Cottage and he would go to see the Queen at Balmoral.
But his wife won't let him. That's probably the fact.
Well, yeah, and also the wife has caused relations to break down so badly that actually the other members of the family don't want to see their madam.
Yeah, I mean, this is sad, as what Dawn said, to see a family sort of ripped apart like this in front of the world. It's quite upsetting, really. You know, I'm not a big fan of hers or his, but you know what strikes me is that these two left the UK apparently to get more privacy, and you know everything now is about them and getting more. You know, featured more around the world. It's so hypocritical.
Oh, they are invading their privacy now on a daily basis. Ashley James, look, I do this for work because I feel that I have to, but I put myself through the 49 minutes of trauma. I'm sounding like Meghan now, aren't I? This trauma of listening to her awful podcast today, Archetypes, with the American actress Mindy Kaling. And again, Ashley, she made it all about herself. She made it all about the fact that when she started to date Prince Harry, everyone said, oh, wow, you're dating a prince. And actually, they should have been saying to Prince Harry, oh, my goodness, you're so lucky to be dating the D-list actress from Suits, Meghan Markle. I mean, this is a woman who now shares her every innermost thought. So it is a joke, Ashley, that they plead privacy.
Look, her podcast is naturally going to be about her because it's her podcast and you talk about experiences. What I don't like, and by the way, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Meghan and Harry fan, but what I don't like is your kind of commentary which says she won't let him, because I think there's a misogyny there.
That was Adam.
Yeah, I know.
That was Adam.
Of this evil woman who's, at the end of the day,
the boss. She's quite clearly the boss.
Harry is an adult who makes his own decisions.
Do you not think he's been emasculated?
No, I don't think. I think it's great that she is a powerful, strong woman. What I think is bad is the fact that we say that it's because of her that Harry is making his decisions. He's grown, he's an adult, and he's also made it very clear his feelings of the media and the establishment for a long time, and I think he was looking for a way out. I think he should take the responsibility for what's happened to his family without us having to blame him.
Well, I think he does take responsibility, Dawn, but I'm sorry, I covered this story up close. And to suggest that Meghan has not manipulated Harry, destroyed the relationships with his family, I think is wrong. I think actually what she's done, Dawn, is very sinister, and it's following the same playbook, by the way, from her own life, where she falls out with every single one of her close friends, where she falls out with every single blood relative, apart from her mum.
Well, I actually think it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other. I think, yes,
you blame them both.
The stronger personality of the relationship. I don't agree with this whole Yoko Ono thing where it's the woman that's always to the blame for a man being weak. Harry fought in in Afghanistan, didn't he? So, I mean, he is a soldier. He is a grown man. He should know his own mind. Now, for whatever reason, he is choosing his wife over his family, as it appears to me. But the wife must have something to do with that, Dawn, because you've got to remember, before Meghan came into his life, Harry probably had a closer relationship with Kate and his brother William than anyone in the world. Then all of a sudden, Meghan is in his world, and that relationship falls apart. Yeah, but he is a grown man, Dan, allegedly. I mean, if men ever grow up, he is a grown man. So I think he must be making this decision as well.
I'd say he's a Playboy prince with a chip on his shoulder.
But he was a big personality, and now he's not.
No, by the way, we saw what happened with Diana. She spoke openly about the fact that she felt rejected from the establishment. So you can understand why Harry would be particularly protective of his family, and I actually commend that. And also, as much as we talk about Meghan coming in and ruining his relationship, he also married somebody from overseas from a completely different way of life. So it's a two-way thing.
OK, but I'm just going to be honest, Ashley. I'm going to be honest. I've got to put it out there. We're sick of them.
But then stop writing about them. Stop talking about them.
They are forcing themselves on us constantly.
You don't have to talk about it.
They're in our newspapers and on our news.
I actually wish
they're not putting themselves
they would just stay away for a little while. We don't want you in Britain anymore, Harry and Meghan. I'm sorry, but it's true.
You know what, Dan? I want him here, but I want him to go and see his grandmother.
Yes.
She's very poorly.
Yeah.
And I think...
Do the decent thing, Harry. Get on a plane now, probably one of your private jets, which we know you love so much, and go and see the Queen if you have a scrap of decency left in you.